Hello there and welcome back. So the new Final Fantasy XIV units have landed in Nier Reincarnation and it's time for hype. So in this video, let's do a banner review, and you can also check out my polls up there in the corner as I talk. Let's dive right in. So first of all, once again, amazing costume design. We have a black mage Saryu, red mage Lars, a samurai Udiel. Reminds me of the Sino units, just how colorful and beautiful they look. Okay, Saryu, first of all, we have a fire mage here who is a DPS hybrid with top tier attack, pretty impressive defense, character skill with a huge multiplier on a 4-hit, 300% with an additional 70% when you're wielding fire. And then it also gives a fire crush to the enemy and reduces everyone's cooldowns by 10%. That is awesome, and it's totally designed for subjugation knockdown. That cooldown is going to help you loop your skills, which will in turn help you loop your character skill. I think she can serve as your DPS role, and she can obviously support your other DPS if you have someone else you want to pair her with. So it's a lot like her Christmas costume, which was dark, of course. And I'm really excited to try her out and push my fire score higher. We have flat valiance, 25%, which is exactly what we want in a subjugation support. The swiftness also helps the cooldowns of your team wielding fire. And then a new upgraded assault crit rate to party by 15%. Very nice if you can get that A3. And the debris is very nice too, 10%. Reduction on a character skill. Again, designed for subjugation knockdowns. The weapon. Another one of these situations where one of the skills is EX level 100% for 5 hits. With a fire buff if it's a staff user. And then a weaker one that has, in this case, a critical hit buff. And if you don't like it as a main hand, it at least has a good combo of passives, Blaze Boon, and Vigor. So it will be good in the subs no matter what. Alright, so that's Saryu. Onward, Udiel. We have a top tier light DPS, once again, top tier attack value. Pretty high HP for a DPS. And the character skill, very simple. B gauge, 5 hit with a huge multiplier, 330 with an additional 70 when you're wielding light. So that'll be great for capping and doing 5 hits. Really simple. I think he'll be good in Fateboard with that high HP as well. And obviously amazing in subjugation to push your scores even higher. So even if you have Sarafa, now you have a Udiel to put on a different wave. Okay, Vigor, which is par for the course on this type of DPS unit, but we have a Lucid Pursuit. These Elemental Pursuit skills are so strong, 50%. The requirement is steep with the 4 hits, but it's going to apply whenever you're using a weapon skill or his character skill. And then the third passive, I would say not so essential. Yes, it will boost your light damage a little bit, but it's a Lucid Drive attack stat of light weapons, 80%. Not totally necessary. I think he's going to be good at A0. So if you get him and you want to save gems, just ride it out. Wouldn't go chasing this debris either. It's cool if you get it, but yeah, I wouldn't go chasing it. Okay. The weapon, we have 2 skills that are EX level with the multipliers. So 90 on a 5 hits, 110 on a 4 hit, so close to EX level. The only problem is I really hate these 26-second skills, personally. They really jam up the combos, and they're really hard to loop and knock down. So that's kind of a bummer, but the weapon will be a great sub-weapon with Lucid Boon and Pursuit. Of course, the devs made sure to overlap this with the Hina banner that has that cracked greatsword. That is just like an EX weapon, has 23-second skills. It has a light buff on skill 1 if you're a 2-hand sword user. So, Udiel, maybe. So if you really want to go hard on Udiel, you still have a chance to go grab that weapon, and you can check out my review of that banner too in my previous video. Cool, you have until the 11th to pull that weapon on the Hina banner if you so choose. And the attack stat here is pretty good. Not, you know, stupid high, but pretty high. And this will be a great weapon in the subs for sure. And if you can get around that long skill, a good main hand. All right, that's you deal. And finally, the god, Lars, the arena support god, who's also a subjugation support, who is an amazing arena support that can also hit like a truck because he's got one of these elemental pursuit skills, whirlwind pursuit, so he's a wind user. If you can get him A4, his attack value is pretty high, and when combined with this, again, he can just hit like a truck. But this is the main thing, we have the upgraded flat, 30% instead of 20. So if you're really into competing in arena, you're gonna need Lars to keep up with everyone else who, everyone else is gonna have that 10% edge over you. Okay, so, and again, he's strong too. And then if you get this A3, he's gonna help your sniper chain in AA. This is, 5% increased chance of chains to the party, which sometimes, this isn't the most desirable skill, but it really does make sense for his kit. Okay, the character skill. When using wind, it gives an attack buff, 45 seconds, and I've talked about that before, the importance of these longer skills. And then, no matter what, a pursuit buff, 20% for 45 seconds. So I can see myself bringing him on every element in subjugation as well. So I'm so stoked I got Lars. He was the one that I was mostly going for. You know me, I like to compete in arena, and I just couldn't live without him. Also, it's a C gauge. That's going to be, it's just going to make your life easier in subjugation. Maybe you can even squeeze in a character skill in between your DPS character skills. And same thing with Saryu if you're pairing her with a DPS. Cool. So, should you pull? I would say yes. This is a great banner. All 3 units are great. But the thing to keep in mind, and I always say this, but it is true, we have more limited banners coming up. We have summer units next month. So if you're free to play or have limited resources, and you're going to want summer units, then you might want to consider if you can live without these units. Because we're probably going to have another 6 summer units. They did that to us last year. And while this banner gives us an arena meta update, we might be able to expect an arena shakeup like we did with last summer banner with Summer Wife. So keep that in mind. Also, that anniversary is in August, so we're going to get hit with all these limited banners. And, for the last Celeb banner, they surprised us with a second one. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be really easy to run out of gems. Okay, so how do I feel about Lars in arena? Well, awesome. We have, someone who's strong and can boost the agility more. But when you're coming up against other Larses, it can be a bummer, right? I call this coin toss meta, and we've kind of been in it for a while. We've reached a point where you can't have a safety team anymore because the snipers are so powerful they can take out Udeal sometimes. And you can't get your Summer Wife fast enough to outpace the snipers like we used to be able to do. And that's what I would like to see in a potential arena meta shakeup. I don't know how the devs would solve that problem, but we're in this coin toss situation, and I did prepare a short video of some arena battles with Lars, so you can see his damage, and then also I can illustrate this point I'm talking about. All right, so this first battle here is just quintessential coin toss. Just
here I go.
2 of the same type of team. I snipe them, they snipe me, I get sniped again, I'm hoping my skills come off, and I'm able to get one skill off, and nice skill damage, you see that? Lars is doing work here. And luckily I didn't die. So if I come up against this team again, with this team, am I going to win? I don't know for sure. And I like to achieve as much, you know, certainty as possible, especially in that final hour climb. I don't want to leave things to chance. And if you get bad RNG several times in a row, all of a sudden your rank tanks. Okay, so in the next one, I went up against community friend Redgrave, and Red's team is one of the hardest you'll come up against. And in this, Red has the standard new team, which, by the way, Lars kind of replaces Bloody Gale. Now, Bloody Gale is still great, but Lars has, you know, more of an agility buff. When using wind, he has more pursuit, and, you know, you could still maybe use Saryu, Lars, and Bloody Gale, but then you're not going to outpace somebody's sniper with all that timed agility. So how do you come up against a team like this? Well, on a team like this with Christmas Gale, I'm able to push my agi even further. And knowing how Red has built his Nier, I'm assuming it's 4K because it used to be 3.8, but now with Lars it's probably 4K because I have experimented with the same build. But I'm able to get this Nier with Christmas Gale to 4.2. Problem is, even though I'm 200 agi more, I'm still within that range that we call agi roll. So here's two examples. First battle versus Red. I managed to go first. Second battle with Red. Red went first. I lost the first one, I won the second one. Again, it's a coin toss. And in the final hour, I'm probably just gonna avoid Redgrave. Like, that'll be great for for his score too. And I hope to see him get rank 1. But, you know, for my own success, I might just avoid that team because I know that I don't have a 100% certain counter to it. I can't reliably outpace that sniper, even, you know, especially with like a tank on my team. You know, Christmas Gale does have that timed agility buff to party. Okay, so here's another one versus a tank team, kind of a hybrid tank team, but we do have Demos and a U-Deal, which apply 8 stacks of attack break on me. We can see how this team does damage-wise. Okay, so we have the reduced crits, reduced attack, still doing okay damage. Able to take out the U-Deal, but it took all 6 skills. And then Demos, this is like a powerful Demos, so that's risky. But we get to see some more skill damage from Lars here after that attack break wears off. So very cool, and he's serving me well on my favorite, you know, hybrid team, you know, with the tank team and all that. All right, so good luck on your pulls. And once again, stay strong and be wise if you really want those summer or anniversary units. Those are my thoughts on the banner. All right, and as always, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see here, throw a like on the video and a sub on the channel. All that stuff helps me grow, and it's much appreciated. I'll see you in the next one.